Okay, in today's lesson, we're going to look at solving inequalities. So yesterday you were looking at what inequalities look like, how to graph them, and what they mean. Today we're going to be looking at how you solve them. And today's the very first ones are just with adding and subtracting. So the rules of equations still apply when we're dealing with inequalities. So if I'm going to solve this inequality, we're just going to use inverse operations. So if it says p minus 4, I'm going to add 4. And once again, if you do it to one side, you're going to have to do it to the other side. So we're going to add 4 to both sides, and you'd be left with p is now less than 5. Okay, if we were to graph that, so my rules again, 3 numbers, one smaller, one bigger than the number we're graphing. So we would want an open circle here, since it's less than, open circle, arrow to the left. Now, the second part of it says check your solutions. So what does that mean? Well, if you look at the solutions that we have graphed, we have the arrow pointing this way, which means 4, anything, and well, anything less than 5 would be a solution. So what would be a number that would work? Well, 4 is less than 5, so yes, our solutions do work. Okay, let's look at the next one. So this one says 8 is greater than or equal to d minus 2. So if it says d minus 2, again, inverse operation of minusing would be subtracting, or excuse me, addition. So we're going to add 2 to both sides, and I'd have d is now greater than, let me say that again, 10 is greater than or equal to d. If you wanted to flip it around, it would be d is less than or equal to 10. So if I go to graph that one, again, we'd have a number line, 10 in the center. And then, since it is greater than or equal, or excuse me, less than or equal to, it's going to be a solid circle. And we're going to point the arrow to the left. So we could check a solution. So 9 would be one of my solutions. So if I put it into the top one, 10 is greater than or equal to 9, or 9 is less than or equal to 10. Okay, so it does work. Okay, another one. Why don't you try that one? Pause the video, work it through, see what you get. Okay, so on this one, I'd want to minus the 5, and you'd get y is less than a negative 12. And once again, you should graph it. So you have negative 12, negative 13, and negative 11. And this one would be an open circle, arrow pointing to the left since it says less than. Okay. And now, next thing I want you to try, I want you to read through this to see if you can think of an inequality that would go with this. So it says a cyclist takes her bicycle on a chairlift to the top of the slope. The chairlift can safely carry 680 pounds. The cyclist weighs 124, and the bicycle weighs 32 pounds. What are the possible additional weights the chairlift can safely carry? So there's a number of ways to think through this. The one way that I want us to start thinking about are inequalities and equations. So if we look at this, it says that the chairlift can safely carry 680 pounds. So I'm thinking in my head, I've got 680 pounds over here. Whatever weight we have on it has to be less than or equal to 680 pounds. So what weight do I have on here? Well, I've got the cyclist. She weighs 124. We've got the bicycle itself. That weighs 32. And then we want to know what the possible additional weight is. So that would be additional weight would be our variable. So this would be an inequality that would represent this situation. So now if I went to solve it, if you combine like terms, you'd have 156 plus x is less than or equal to 680. So then to solve that one, we would minus off the 156. And you would get x is less than or equal to 424. Nope, 524. Sometimes my math skills need a little work. Okay, and go ahead and take a look, try and solve these. Solve the first part and see if they are, or excuse me, I gotta read my directions. It says, what can you do the first inequality in each pair in order to get the second? So let's think about that for a little bit. And so on this first one, part A, if you wanted to get the x by itself, you'd have to minus 4 from both sides. So what can you do? You'd have to minus 4 from both sides. Second one, where it says m minus 1 is greater than 3, to get the first side to be greater than 4, you'd have to add 1 to both sides. Third one, in order to get it to be 2 is greater than or equal to n, you'd have to minus 3 from both sides. Okay, and on the last one, if you wanted to get negative 4 is less than y, you would have to get rid of this minus 2, so you'd add 2 to both sides, and then you would have what the second side says over here. Okay, hopefully that's pretty straightforward and makes sense to you. That's all I've got today. Hope you have a good night. And you can stop the video at any time.